And yeah, I'm totally good.
I appreciate it very much because we have a lot of women on art of processing and it, as yet no men. Azaria just recently said, we really need some men on this channel.
Yeah,
We did.
she asked me to reach out to you, so you
Yeah.
asking me, it all just came together.
And that's great. That's really important to watch for is, does it come together really easily? Then great. That's probably a yes all around. I'll start with giving just a little bit of structure. Just so you have an idea, I'll briefly share what my background is that applies. It's not just that I'm friends with Azaria. I look forward to telling you a little bit about that. We'll do a quick check-in, call it head, heart, body, what I can report from my head, and then from my heart, and then from my body. I'll go first just so you see. In my head, I feel some tightness and a little bit of brain fog. In my heart, I feel very open and expansive, but also tired. And in my body, I feel pretty just present, nothing particular acute yelling at me. And also don't necessarily feel awesome, but that's an improvement over the past few days. So, yeah, head, heart, body, just a few words about each.
My head is feeling clear and focused, some lightness to it. My heart feels open, an open field with endless boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And my body is a little hot. I just got back from a walk, so I'm a little sweaty.
That's awesome. Thank you. I like to be able to have things measurable, as you likely do too. Rating it. We'll do like a scale of 1 to 10 and how true does something feel?
Currently, I'm working through these barriers that I create with my
Mhm.
fears and insecurities. I'll hit a crossroad or a split in my path, and my fear will block off the one that I actually want to go on. Really being aware of my body sensations and how I'm reacting to these moments, and being a flag saying, hey, here's an opportunity for you to make a different choice.
I'm hearing, noticing when fear and insecurities are driving the ship. I love that you are aware of how your body has a big part of helping you make those choices.
Say embodiment. It's like a mind body balance.
Awesome. I love that. Okay. It helps a lot that you already know these words. Because there's a lot of people, men in particular, who are more in the conventional world and this kind of thinking is new. There's a lot of foundation that needs to be laid. And it sounds like you have quite a bit already. So grateful. Don't overthink it. In regards to that mind body balance and embodiment, where would you say your experience is?
Ooh, past few weeks, 1 to 10 scale, one being like not so well and 10 being excellent. I would say like a three, but if you want to go like the last 4 days, I'd say a six.
So tell me, how different does that feel? How do you tell the difference between the three and the six?
I'm more in my head. I'm more thinking, like running through scenarios, creating stories. And the six is more just feeling like it's a natural flow. There's not one side pulling me one way or the other. My feelings aren't overtaking me, and my mind isn't overthinking.
Okay. So there's this embodiment, mind body balance. Okay. Do you feel like that's different from that awareness of whether or not you're in your heart?
There's some overlap in that because being embodied, being there, present, out of my head.
I'm realizing it's still different. You can be embodied just by literally feeling as though you're fully present. That doesn't mean you're necessarily in your heart. So, yeah. And maybe just note over this next week, what does being in your heart mean? What does it feel like? How do you know the difference in the last few weeks? What would you say about being in your heart?
The last few weeks, like a one, and I'd say the last few days, like a four.
Okay. How do you tell the difference between a one and a four?
A lot of it is, am I thinking of questions? If I want to be like present with my partner, if I'm thinking about what can I ask, it's more being in my head. Whereas when I'm more in my heart, They just naturally come. I can sense or be like, I'd really like somebody to ask me this question if I was in their position. So I feel like that's more of a being in your heart moment, compassion and empathy.
Mm, getting shivers again. That's so great. That's beautiful. What can I ask? Or what am I supposed to do right now? Or like that's thinking
Mm,
and just being with the question just naturally comes up. And my guess is those questions that you allow to just arise because you're present are generally well received in some way. Is that
yes,
okay? My
that's correct.
guess
Yeah.
is they're not questions that come from here are generally not very well received.
No.
The reality is you will not always be able to tell when you're stuck in your head because that's part of being in your head is it convinces you you're not just in your head. It convinces you
Mm,
that you're where you need to be. You could really practice noticing subtleties. Sometimes a question just hits a little bit like but not a wow, I just totally got re-traumatized by that question. There's a big range there. And so when it's more subtle, be watching for that and see what does it look like for her because it's making her be in her head if she has to say something, but giving her the permission, be like, if I'm in my head and I'm just not getting it, here's our safe word. Do you see what I mean?
yeah.
Um,
Working together to be together.
yeah, you'll get opportunities with other people as well, not just with her, to notice
Hmm.
how did they just respond to that question? What does integration mean to you?
To me, it is taking what I learn, all the resources, and making it a habit or a pattern, like going through practice to create that healthy pattern and behavior.
Mhm. I absolutely agree. What I also want to encourage, it's integration just in the tiniest pieces. Don't feel like, oh, I messed up that time. It takes tiny steps over and over again for you to reach that point of, wow, this is a habit now. In the past, my habit was shit in some way. I'm noticing my habit is this. There's a long way between that. So really celebrate every time you're like, oh, I did it. I remembered what I could do and I tried it and it worked.
Yeah. I'm also trying not being too hard on myself. Being compassionate with myself and patient is also uh, very important.
What would you say your level of integration has been?
I'd say about a 5.
And then how about the past few days?
I'd bump that up to a 6.
What's the clear indicators of the difference or what does an 8 look like?
An 8 would be I effortlessly see myself
Hmm.
doing something different.
I love the way you're defining all kinds of stuff I've thought about a lot, but haven't been able to put it into words. See, here's collaboration right now.
There we go.
Yeah, when I was at that point where I just have to do something different, even if it's a tiny bit, that's an improvement. Even if I
Hmm.
still feel like I'm fucking up, it's just a little bit better. Sometimes it was simply, I just stopped and took a deep breath, and I considered that a success. All in relation to how dysregulated are you. If you're really in the shit and you're like, I'm feeling so anxious and I'm doing everything wrong, a couple little steps. Let me get me some water. I haven't eaten in a while. Just be able to give that compassion and patience to yourself.
Yeah, I give myself some pats on the back when I'm in some hard situations, and I actually feel myself taking those deep breaths and just, and it's nice because it's happening now without having to say, okay, I need to take a breath. So I catch myself naturally doing it. I'm like, yay, you're doing it.
Yes, that's so, so huge. Do you want to share some of what you've been learning and practicing?
Yesterday, I had a consultation with a friend who does breath work. And he gave me some helpful in the moment breath exercises. And I scheduled a 3 hour block, guide me through some circular breathing and go a little bit deeper into those fears and insecurities that pop up and create those barriers. Do some work as far as getting back there and finding out, can we heal you in those areas where those actually were formed? He was the one that led the theta portal breathing part of it.
Aaron Overstreet?
Correct.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah. I took
Yeah.
a couple of his distance classes. I was testing out a lot of breath work during the pandemic.
And we talked about trauma, fight, flight, freeze, bond flop. Basically, you give up or you give up like to make it stop. You go against what you really want just to get out of that uncomfortable situation and freeze. We talked about triangle breathing of like you're breathing in, have that pause, and then your exhale and a pause. Is if you're in that flight mode, switch to having the pause between the exhale and the inhale. When you're in that trauma part of it, you're going to be taking in and holding that so that you're getting as much oxygen as you can. Mm-hmm. So if you can flip it, it will actually bring your nervous system back down more into a calm state.
I love that. I'm not sure I've ever heard that particular tweak. And yeah, it makes sense.
Your own way of trying to reset your nervous system, being like, okay, there actually isn't anything here to run from. Switch that and calm yourself down. So I got that in the works. I'm excited about that. Brian sent me a link to do this empathy class, an 8-week course through Wise Heart. I've really been enjoying it. It's a lot of stuff that I've already read in nonviolent communication, but now it gives us an opportunity to practice it. And it's just for men too. It brings down that feeling of judgment by men in that scenario, because we're all like, we're here because we don't feel like we're good at this. And now we can try and do this together and practice and understand. And in that process, I realized that my understanding of feelings and needs was very minimal. Going through life feeling like I had 4 feelings: angry, sad, happy, and I don't know what the fuck I am. And needs is like, what are needs? If I have a need, I'm needy. Growing up, it was easier to not express needs because then you would feel like a burden. A lot of that is understanding what those are. Luckily for me, Azari brought home a book by Brene Brown, Atlas of the Heart. I read the back of that and I was like, okay, I need to read this because it's like exactly what I've been talking about wanting to understand what these feelings are, where the body sense, basically all of it. Like the more I know, the better I can relate. Luckily, it's on Spotify, so I can listen to it on audiobook.
I was worried that you were a little more all over the place, but what I'm seeing is you're really focused on a few things. You're learning how to be in your heart, how to understand what empathy is, what do you even understand what the feelings are. Men, I feel I'm so angry for you and sad for you because y'all have been taught you've been taught to be emotionally immature. You've been taught to be emotionally distant, and you've had to protect yourself in ways that's so fucking unkind and has caused a lot of challenge for women.
Outside of the 3 men that are facilitating it, there are 10 other men in there.
Awesome.
It'll be interesting to see on the 3rd night if it's still consistent, because I like seeing that people are dedicated and committed to it.
Yeah.
I do part of my integration stuff too is also when I do feel something come up in me, is I try to find it in my body sensation. And then a little later, I'll try and do some parts work with it and connect with it. And it might not be even like a whole lot of time. It's just like a brief, like, hey, I see you. I appreciate you, just to check in. And sometimes I said, you know what? I appreciate you. I love you. I care for you. I love that you did all these things for me. I'm in a different place. I'm working on this. Can we check in later? Because I'd love to tell you all about it. Conversation. So yeah, I've been doing parts work. Internal Family Systems is also an audiobook on Spotify. And then one that I just started yesterday, a friend posted on Facebook of saying how it's been so eye-opening and is No More Mr. Nice Guy. So dealing with nice guy syndrome or that kind of mentality and listening to what a nice guy is. Like it talks about it and then it gives practices, guided way of getting yourself out of being a Mr. Nice Guy. And honestly, just being able to speak your needs in a compassionate way and getting rid of that. For me, it would be moving past that people pleaser, being okay to disappoint somebody.
Yeah. Awesome. I see how these 2 things really weave in also. I'm glad that you already started to recognize a minute, 5 minutes. That's all that's really needed. We make such a big deal out of everything. Oh, I don't have hours and hours to go cry or scream or whatever.
Just acknowledging it sometimes can bring that down. And
we're all layers.
One thing that I've integrated really well though is I used to have this really bad self-critic, one
Mhm.
that would, if I made a mistake, would be like, wow, you're really a fuck up. You're gonna, like, why do you keep trying? You're just gonna fail. This last month, that hasn't been around at all. I reflect back on it, like, wait a minute, there's something missing here because I'm normally like really hard on myself. It's more of, okay, I made a mistake. How am I going to fix this? How can I be better? What can
Mhm.
I do? What kind of actions can I take? It's not wallowing in it and being like creating my own self pity. It's trying to stay positive. Okay, I messed up. What am I going to do now?
Yes, it's awesome.
Yeah, that one was huge because I would get into this shame spiral.
I'll tell you what, like, when I realized, oh my God, the things I'm saying to myself, if I said them out loud and anybody was walking by and thought I was talking to my kid or my dog, they would have every right to take them away from me. I can't keep
Yeah.
doing that to myself. That's not my
Mhm.
voice. That's my fucking stepdad's when he was a mean ass dude. It took me a long time to get that voice out, but that makes all the difference. How's your head, your heart, and your body as we finish up?
My head still feels light, but in a good way. Still clear and, let's say, calm. My heart is still open, expansive, and yeah, go with that. My body is just feeling relaxed in here.
I'm almost crying. Thank you. So good. I feel very good. I love that a lot.
I've gotten used to speaking more vulnerably and in the men's group, and so yeah.
Essentially, you built the habit by being taught in a mean way what you're supposed to do. And now you
Hmm.
put yourself into a bunch of situations where people are kindly, gently, lovingly teaching you and modeling what we all wish we could have had from the get go.
Hmm.
And you've found those people for yourself. You've trusted your inner knowing enough to go, that's a spark. I want to check into that some more. Oh, I feel a spark. I better schedule with Aaron. I better follow the lead that I got from Brian. That's really good too. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time and energy and look forward to seeing you next week. And I hope you have a good one.
Thank you. Enjoy this weather.
Thank you. I will.
All right.
Oh my God, that was so fucking awesome. I don't think I've ever had such a willing man to collaborate with.